Hey everybody, this is Ben here at thatcologneguy coming at you with a new review. Happy Friday to you. Like many of you, I am also in quarantine because of COVID-19, and so make sure you stay positive, stay healthy, and stay safe. I sure am thinking about you guys, and I wish you well. Without further ado, let's take a look at this week, which review, which is Amouage Blossom Love. So, if you follow the channel, you know that a couple weeks ago I started to review and take a look at the Discovery Collection for Women by Amouage, and this was a suggestion by subscriber Savina. So, hi Savina, and she had mentioned while I was doing the sampler set for Amouage Men and also the library collection that I should also do the women's collection. So, indeed, I'm doing that, and I'm enjoying that quite a bit. So, I am walking around the house during the quarantine wearing women's perfume. So this week I wore Blossom Love around the house all week, in fact. So today will be my last day with it. If you saw the Battle of the Fragrances that my daughter and I did with this sample set, you'll know that my daughter actually, this was her favorite one. In fact, she doesn't call it Blossom Love. She calls it Cupcakes and Smiles, which will be relevant in a minute when I talk about the notes of this fragrance. So as you guys know, I like to read, each sampler set comes with a description, and I like to read the description to see if the perfume will actually live up to it. So let's take a look. Blossom Love Woman. Again, this is the one that comes with the sampler set. Blossom Love reveals the romance of a perfumed secret garden where the light, sweet, and delicate nature of cherry blossom nectar marries with rose to reveal inner boldness and a memorable heart caressed by the exotic sophistication of ylang-ylang. This floral love story is embraced by the seductive allure of amaretto, tonka bean, and vanilla before melting into sandalwood and cashmerean to create an intense and enduring fragrant bouquet of memories. So that is Blossom Love. And speaking of notes, let's dive right into the notes. There are four that stand out for me, but I do want to say one thing, which is this is not a fragrance on my skin that develops over time. This was a very, very linear fragrance. This is a 2017 floral release by Amouage, and I have to say, especially after wearing the library collection and the men's fragrances, I'm wondering if it looks to me like the new direction of Amouage is to try to make more designer-like fragrances, but yet they're going to keep, of course, their niche prices. So this is an interesting marketing style, and I'm not sure if it's going to work for them. Let's take a look at the notes. For me personally, the two big ones are heliotrope and ylang-ylang. I'm a huge fan of these notes, so of course I'm going to be able to, they'll stand out more for me because I like them anyway. Definitely a strong note of ylang-ylang as well as heliotrope, and they stayed with it the entire time. I would also add cherry blossom, rose, and vanilla, and I think I saw leather. Just I got my notes here. Yeah, I didn't pick up anything like that. This is a fruity, floral gourmand. Which is why I mentioned that my daughter actually calls this Cupcakes and Smiles, because I see the Blossom Love points more to floral. The Cupcakes and Smiles points more towards gourmand, and this is a marriage of the two. So I didn't think this was as floral as I thought it would be when I saw that it was in the floral category, but it's not a full-on gourmand either. So it's not like a Thierry Mugler Angelman or anything like that. So it's kind of a fruity floral gourmand. And those are the big four notes that I got out of it, 4 or 5 actually. So heliotrope and ylang-ylang were the two big ones: cherry blossom, rose, and vanilla. So I guess those are the 5 that stand out. But there was no really change over time for me on this one. This was incredibly linear. So let's get to the projection and longevity. I don't. This one is definitely an Amouage. This one lasts a very, very, very long time. So so a lot of you have pointed out that on the samples, the sprayer is smaller, and therefore it might not last as long, which is, and I appreciate that, by the way. Even with this sprayer though, I definitely got 12 to 14 hours with 4 sprays, one on each side of the neck and one on each wrist. It is basically, we're looking at full on beast mode here. So in terms of longevity, I definitely got a 12 to 14 easily. I'll just give you an example. So it would have been, today is Friday, so it would have been Wednesday. On Wednesday, I wore it the entire day, of course. So I put it on, 9 in the morning, and then later on that evening, I was working out. And then because I was, working up a sweat, and the whole room was smelling like it. And this is what? So this is 8 o'clock. You're looking at 6 o'clock. You're looking at about 10 hours into the fragrance. During the workout, the whole room was starting to smell like it. And then I went afterwards, cooled down, took a shower, and then even after that, I could still smell it. So this is a very, very strong fragrance for me, and it would be in the 12 to 14 hour category for duration, for longevity, and projection would be more than an arm's length if you're going to spray 4 or more. So if you like something toned down, be very careful with this one, because you'd really, really want to watch it. Projection would be, might be more than an arm's length. It certainly was for me, and I would say keep it at 1 to 2 sprays if you like something that's kind of subtle and close to the skin. This certainly is not that. And what's interesting is when it comes to age groups, I find myself with Amouage saying, of course, my joke is that whoever can afford it. With Amouage though, I will say that most of the time it tends to be kind of in the 35 and up crowd. It tends to be kind of they tend to have more mature sense, but not kind of old man, old woman-ish sense. This one is an exception, which is why I'm really curious about their marketing style. This is a new one, right? 2017. It's 3 years old, but it almost seems like, again, like I said earlier, it's almost like they're trying to get into the market with competing with designer fragrances, and I'm not sure if that's really where they want to go, because with the price point, these aren't designer prices. So this one actually, and this might be sacrilegious, so this might be a cardinal sin, but this one is rather designer-ish to me. If I had smelled, of course the notes are quality, but if you gave this to somebody and told them, do you think this is a niche or a designer? Of course, you would get some people that would say niche, but I think some people would. You might get a 50-50 split here, and some people would say this is a designer fragrance. This is, age group is different. This is very much a youthful fragrance. As I said earlier, my daughter is 11, and she chose this one as her favorite, and she calls it Cupcakes and Smiles. And there is a happy ending, by the way, to this, because after this episode, she will benefit from this, because I will be giving her this sample. So this is my last day wearing this one. This is youthful. This is definitely middle school, high school, college. I see this more as when I think of this fragrance, I think of TikToks and smiles. Right, and hashtags. I think of a very high school experience, and it seems like this is Amouage's attempt. You can tell me if you disagree, but it almost seems like this is Amouage's attempt at the younger crowd, because their fragrances tend to be more austere and esoteric. So this one is definitely more of a crowd pleaser. It's more of has a youthful quality to it, and I see this more as something along the lines of middle school, high school, and college. I don't see this as a 25 and up. So on the masculine feminine continuum, this is definitely not masculine, of course, and this is also not unisex. This is definitely quite a bit over to the side of feminine, if not indeed all the way. So in terms of event, I do see this as more of an after work fragrance, just really though because of the projection. So if you did wear this to work, I would say just make sure that you keep it at 2 sprays because of the clearing out the room factor. So That's how as far as the event, nothing really suggests that you couldn't wear it to work, but make sure you're easy on the trigger, as they say. So I see this as a more of an evening and night out fragrance, without a doubt. So there you have it. There is Blossom Love. Interesting marketing, isn't it? Does it live up to its name? Not quite. I certainly see this as a. When I think of Blossom Love, I think of uh, giggling adolescents doing a TikTok to Doja Cat's "Say So." That's what I think. So there you have it. Now, for the last time, probably in this lifetime, I will be putting these on. As you guys, if you follow my channel, you know that I rate fragrances out of sprays, and then I put that same number on me. So what number are we going to go with out of 5 sprays? This is a 3 for me. This is an interesting take. This is an interesting marketing style for Amouage, right? Because as a niche fragrance, they're usually trying to create these exotic. I think I almost like the library collection more, right? Because they have these very, very unique fragrances. This one certainly is not any cheaper than their other fragrances, yet the actual smell of it is rather close to crowd pleaser and rather close to designer. So you might like that even more, and I think a lot of the hardcore Amouage fans are going to like that a lot less. So this is probably going to be a pass for a fair amount of people. So 1 to 2 sprays out of 5 would mean to me it's a one and done, right? I wouldn't recommend it either for my collection, or I wouldn't recommend it to you. 3 out of 5 is kind of in the middle, maybe perhaps, and then 4 or 5 would be absolutely. This is a 3 out of 5 for me. It's certainly not unique. You either will like it or not. It's linear. It's quite different than most Amouage releases, and that's kind of a bad thing actually for me. And so I would say it's a 3 out of 5 if you really, really wanted to have a fruity, floral gourmand. And like my daughter said, something of Cupcakes and Smiles. Then you would want to have this in your collection. I would not, though. This is not blind buy friendly, and is certainly not at the price point. So if you receive this as a gift, or if you saw it greatly discounted, then you might want to grab it. But other than that, if it's over the 250 or 300, whatever the Amouages are usually for the 300 milliliter 3.4 ounce, this is definitely not blind buy friendly, and even then you might want to be careful with it because it doesn't really stand out for me. But there you have it, 3 out of 5. So I'm going to go, let's go 1 on each wrist, and then 1 right on the Adam's apple. All right, so there you go. Here we go. And boom. Okay, guys. There you have it. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the channel, and wanted to say thank you so much to the recent subscribers from since last week. Got a few more. So welcome to the Cologne crew, and welcome aboard to you guys. And keep the questions and comments coming. Something I really enjoy. I'm even thinking about doing more episodes now that I have a little bit more time during the quarantine. So if not, though, they'll come out every Friday like always. Take care, and always remember, fragrance marks the celebration of today. We'll see you later.